What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Yannis Pappas Hour. We took Thanksgiving off because we wanted you guys to have a happy Thanksgiving. And all I bring to you is sad news that I try to make light of. There's a civil war going on in Africa. Syria, Aleppo, problems again. And North Korea, I think it's been lifted, but was under martial law for a couple of hours, a good, strong couple of hours. So I don't know what's going on. I do know that the trade war is heating up, that Biden just sent a whole bunch of money over to Taiwan for weapons. He also sent $1 billion to Africa for natural disasters, which makes North Carolina pissed because North Carolina still has some problems. But he's on the way out. He's got senioritis. He don't care. He's pardoning his son. He's throwing money at Africa, at Taiwan, the whole 9 yards. Donald Trump is threatening to make Canada a 51st state. He don't care. And Eminem's mom is dead. And he's the chief suspect. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour. Let's get into it.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and there's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day.
Guys, ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? It's time for you to stop worrying about your performance and get Hims, so you can feel confident knowing you can get hard and stay hard whenever you're in the mood. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Yannis. That's hims.com/Yannis for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/Yannis. The products mentioned are chewable, compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. So lots of fun stuff happening. The reality show has begun. Trump suggests Canada should become the 51st state after he said that he was going to he's throwing tariffs out there. He's giving tariffs away like Crazy Eddie. He's basically going, you're getting a tariff. You're getting a tariff. You're getting a tariff. Japan, you're getting blocked. Japan, there's a Japanese steel company that wants to buy U.S. steel for a lot of money. And much like any of us selling our home to the Chinese, we want to say yes to those cash offers because we don't care about the 15-year plan or America as a whole. We're only America first until that cash offer comes in. And then you go, you know what? I'm going to continue to be America first while I watch Charlie Kirk on whatever fucking offbeat network he's on. I don't know. He's on the Big Forehead network. We're going to continue to watch that, and I'll continue to say that amongst my friends and family in Long Island and other places that are culturally Republican. But when I'm selling my house, I will take that cash offer from a Chinese LLC. I'll just take it. So you know U.S. Steel, they're going, what are you doing? We're getting a good cash offer. They're not even Chinese, they're Japanese. And Trump's going, same thing. Chinese, Japanese, Korean, all the same thing. It ain't happening. I'm not letting U.S. Steel be owned by a Japanese firm because he wants to bring steel back. So it's Nippon Steel. Not a great name. Not a great name if you don't like jokes. But if you like jokes... The name of the company is Nippon Steel. And it's a Japanese company. I couldn't have written that. They should have been more aware of that before they were building trying to buy an American company. They should have took a peek at some of the horrible pejoratives that American GIs used for Japanese. So maybe for them, it's the sun's origin. But for American GIs and their progeny, it means something completely different. But it's Nippon. Nippon Steel. They wanted to buy it for $15 billion. So American Steel, they want to get bought. They're going, come on, dude. Just give me this money so I can invest it in crypto, move to Miami, and sell NFTs like the rest of the country. My daughter's got an OnlyFans account. Just let us go. Just give us this Eastern Hemi money like the rest of us who take it in private and then publicly go America first. Do you think anyone can say America first when that offer's in front of them? Right? When you're selling your apartment or you're selling your house and that cash over comes in from a shell Chinese LLC and it's all cash and it's $100,000 over asking, does anyone go, no, I want to keep this neighborhood Italian. I'm going to take the bank loaned money for asking price and reject this over $100,000 asking of Eastern Hemisphere money. I don't know if anyone does that, which always supports my point that people are hypocrites and also very self-interested and easily bought. And I don't blame them for that because in this country, you got to get whatever extra money's coming in, no matter when it's coming in. I'll tell you right now, the Nazi Party could have left an inheritance for me. Okay? They could have left an inheritance. Now, the Nazis affected my life. My mother lived under their occupation, and I feel bad for the Jews. And I don't like fascists, and I don't like dictators. I think democracy and republics are the best. I think rule of law and freedom is the best. But if the Nazis had left me a $15 million inheritance just because Adolf Hitler wanted to say sorry for whatever he did to my mom's village, not even that, because I would take that as reparations. Let's say he said it because they love the jokes we tell on History Hyenas in the future, and they knew about that because they had some sort of German time machine. I'm taking the $15 million. I'm looking the other way, and I'm taking the $15 million. I'll tell you that right now. If P. Diddy offered me a bribe right now, I'm taking the money. We're all taking the money. We're all taking the money. Can you remember that from maybe the title of the episode? Because those stress me out, trying to figure out what the algorithm's going to like. How about this? How about this for the algorithm? Matt Rife puts away rumors that he got face tits. How about that? He says no plastic surgery. So I'm just going to start doing complete catfish headlines because I don't know. Controversial comedian. Is he controversial? Go watch the History Hyenas episode with Matt Rife. Great guy. I like him. He seems like a sweet kid. He's a lot younger than me. He was on page 6 or whatever saying he didn't get plastic surgery, but he did admit on History Hyenas that he did get a big old case of teeth tits. So he got his teeth fixed, which is no big problem. Charlie Murphy did the same thing. Everyone gets their feast ticked. Chris Rock got his teeth fixed. So he hasn't got plastic surgery. He didn't look like to me like he got plastic surgery. He does have nice voluptuous lips. Maybe he's born with those. Maybe there's old pictures where they're thinner. I don't know. If he got lip injections, I'll tell you what, they look good. They don't look like lip injections. They look like good dick-sucking lips. And nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
He said he's a late bloomer. He went through puberty at 20, changed his face.
Okay, fine. I don't know. I'm not attracted to him. I'm not a gay man, because if I was a gay man, I would be attracted to him. I think Chris DiStefano is attracted to him. Yeah, he's attracted to him. I'm attracted to girls. I'm attracted to female-presenting individuals. I mean, does that make me more attracted may make me more attracted to a sweet-looking, feminine boy? Not boy, man. My old Greek came out. A young man, feminine, because feminine-looking, you got to be on the younger side, or Asian. An Asian cross-dresser who passes more than a bull lesbian who's overweight? Maybe. I like female presenting. I don't know why that is. those are extreme examples, but if given the Sophie's choice, I may take the lady boy. I don't know, but thankfully we're not in a Sophie's choice position for that. So I don't know, but Korea is in a Sophie's choice position between martial law and not martial law, and this snuck up on everybody. And the conspiracy theories are running amok, blaming America, and I probably won't have to look too hard to pin this on Israel. You probably won't have to look too hard to find a Frisbee conspiracy. But here we are. Nobody really knows that South Korea was a dictatorship up until like 20 years ago. And, then we got in there and like, enough of that, baseball, here's the thing, threw them a baseball, threw them some money, said, hey, democracy, here's how you write your constitution. And they've been behaving for a while. And then they elected this guy who's a very conservative guy and who has not been popular. His name is funny, like all Korean names. His name is Yoon Suk Yeol. Yoon Suk Yeol. And his wife took a handbag for political favors, but she avoided prosecution. He's been accused of some corruption. He's been criticized. There was a Halloween crushing situation that happened where 159 people got killed, and people blamed him because the police weren't ready or whatever. They blame him. There's a medical strike. The doctors are on strike. Medical staff's on strike. He's got a 17% approval rating. Most recent rating. And so he's a popular guy. And I guess there was rumors for a long time that he was going to be impeached. They wanted to impeach him. And all out of nowhere, he declares martial law. And he says all these things, fake news, no more fake news. Medical staff has to report back to work in 48 hours. I don't know. Citizens can make arrests. I don't know. Don't be outside. I don't know. Whatever. And the opposition and the protests are hard against him, and so he just declared martial law. But the National Assembly, which is their parliament, or if you're American and don't know what a parliament is, which is probably a lot of people, that's it's synonymous with Congress for us, right? The legislative branch voted 190-0, I believe, to overturn the martial law. But the Korean Constitution says that the president could declare martial law, but the legislative branch can veto it. But there's no timetable about when the president has to lift it after the legislature vetoes it. So it's a little bit of a loophole. So by the time you're watching this, I don't know if martial law will continue, but I can tell you what. Stocks have dropped. People scrambled to sell their stocks to Samsung and whatever other Korean companies there are. I'm sure there's a bunch of Korean companies. I had no idea Korea had problems. There's so many other problems going on. I had no idea. I just thought it was this happy place underneath North Korea that was the antithesis of North Korea, where everyone loved K-pop and they talked on their Samsungs and they loved to break dance. I didn't know that there was all this tension going on and people were so unhappy. But martial law has been declared, and it's given us a quick preview into what's going to happen in a couple of months. We'll find out, right? Oh, I banged my knee. But there's no doctors in Korea that can help me. Thank God we're not in Korea. We'll find out. I mean, this guy's saying no more fake news. It sounds familiar. We will see. We will find out. We're going to learn a lot in this 4 years. We're going to learn a lot. What's going to happen? He's saying if you don't return, he's saying to Hamas, if you don't return the American hostages, you're going to have hell to pay. I mean, the kid just talks frankly. He said, you're going to have hell to pay. He told Canada, we're going to hit you with tariffs. Trudeau said that's going to really hurt the Canadian economy. And he said, that won't be a problem because we'll just turn you into the 51st state, which I think what he's going to do. I mean, he's He's really going to get rid of some migrants. He's really going to go strong, and we're going to see. We're going to see if he starts arresting everybody now that he has a mandate from Biden to pardon whoever he wants, because Biden pardoned his own son after he said he wouldn't. That's the problem. I think more people would understand if he didn't. The Democrats just want to sacrifice Hunter Biden. They're upset. Every Democrat, even Charlemagne the God, has weighed in with his astute political commentary and said that he's criticized Biden for doing this. People just want to throw this fucking poor crackhead under the bus. I mean, what's the big problem with the kid? He's a crackhead. I don't mind that he got pardoned. He's not like a arms dealer, or he didn't commit treason or anything like that, did he? Or was he just caking off at Burisma for a little while? Maybe. Who knows? We'll find out after Trump throws his father and him back in prison. It'll be funny. It'll be like a back and forth. It'll be like a back and forth game where you throw 3 in prison, I throw 4 in prison. I don't love what's going on, but I don't care about the pardon of his son. It's his son. I would do the same thing. I'd pardon my son. But I wouldn't say I wasn't going to do it and then do it. That's the problem. But he don't care. He's got senioritis. He's going out going, fuck you, Obama, for replacing me with Kamala Harris. Fuck you to the DNC leadership. Fuck you to Kamala Harris. Fuck you to Chuck Schumer. Fuck you to Nancy Pelosi. I helped Trump win by calling his people garbage and throwing on a MAGA hat because I didn't care anymore. So I don't know. But, you know, the kid's been pardoned, and he's just a drug addict as far as I'm concerned. But people are upset, and the Democrats are upset because this could open the door for Trump to do whatever he wants. I mean, the kid could just be going wild. He could just be throwing out pardons left and right. Who knows? But we're gonna find out. I'm excited to see it. Because I do believe in his heart, he wants to be a dictator. I do believe that he's all about Trump. I do believe my assessment of the guy is he just thinks he's the bee's knees. And he thinks he can do everything better than everyone else. And he wants to be the top, and he wants attention. And he just has that personality of a guy who doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to leave. But he's old, so I'm not worried about that. But if he stays healthy, I do think he'll want a 3rd term. I just feel that. I just feel, that's what he's about. Or it was all a con, because that was going to be his play. If Hillary won, he was going to say the election was stolen. He was going to that was his strategy back then. And so it's the old playbook. That's what he did when he lost to Biden. Dinesh D'Souza. I don't know. I don't care to pronounce his name right. He's been a conservative pundit, not Kash Patel, you racist. Dinesh D'Souza, who made the very popular amongst what is it? What are they called? The never voters? What are they called?
What, the never Trumpers?
The ones who believe the election was stolen.
Election deniers?
The election deniers. Dinesh D'Souza finally apologized for his documentary. He admitted that his documentary, 2,000 Mules, is based on junk information. So that was the documentary that fucking, what was it? Is it Mark Twain that said a lie travels? Mark Twain, while the truth gets who was it?
Yeah.
Some smart guy with a good sense of humor said a lie travels
before the truth gets his pants on.
Before the truth gets his pants on, the lie travels. I tell you, the lie traveled into my in-laws' house.
The lie travels around the world.
The lie traveled to Long Island first. And this is what's so funny about not having a media you trust anymore, that nobody trusts anymore, because that's where the real problem lies. We've said it many times, and it's a very valid criticism. That's the problem. Is that this has traveled around the world, and now this guy who made the documentary that everybody watched has admitted it was based, and he's apologized. So there you have it. The election wasn't stolen. Joe Biden did win, but who cares anymore? The people who believe it are going to believe it. And it's what it is. And this is just the only way you'd know about this is if you listen to this. Who else is going to talk about this? Who else is going to mention this? Who is that he finally said out loud, I'm sorry. And this is a guy who doesn't like to say I'm sorry for giving any, all he does, his whole career is owning the libs. So what can you do? A Texas-based election integrity organization called True the Vote claimed to have reviewed cell phone geo-trafficking data from 5 battleground states that traced the movement of, so whatever. It was all bullshit. So it's been debunked, just like Fox News got sued because there was no credible information to report that the Dominion voting machines were fraudulent or didn't work. And so they got sued and Tucker Carlson got canned. You wouldn't even know he got canned for that unless you listen to this. I don't see it anywhere. Everyone always says Tucker Carlson got canned because he was too fucking maverick. It's not the case. He hurt, him reporting that hurt Rupert Murdoch's pocket big time. And Rupert Murdoch was like, you got to go. You got to go. Jesse keeps insisting that Dinesh D'Souza is Kash Patel. You guys are both Indian guys.
My bad.
It's funny, though, how many conservative Indians there are. Dinesh D'Souza, Kash Patel, and Vivek Ramaswamy. They're not only are they conservative, they're hardcore Trumpers. Hardcore Trump. I mean, but Dinesh D'Souza is old school. He's just an own the libs guy. He's been around forever. I mean, the guy's been around 30 years, whatever. He's been around so long. He's old school, dude. He's old school. And these guys are Indian immigrants. And we don't know too much about Kash Patel except that you're going to have to put your seatbelt on and make sure your seat back is forward and put your tray table up because there's a little turbulence with this guy. He's a wild dude. He's written a lot of books and he's promised to turn the FBI headquarters in DC into a museum on day one. And he wants to tell the 7,000 employees there to go out in the field and be cops. So we're going to see. And this was the guy who had various positions in the Trump administration. And he's been a pundit since then. He's written books. But he's the guy who was like investigating the FBI for their Russia shit. And I think he came out with some good shit. I think he was right about a lot of stuff. So these guys could do good. Maybe there is a deep state. Maybe it's, the truth is always somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's not like kids under Comet Pizza, but maybe it's like conspirators to oust the outsider Trump with a fake dossier that the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for. I mean, we know what happened. She gets a free walk from left-wing people for that. I don't understand how she gets like a free pass for that. Her campaign paid for a phony dossier for fake intel to take down her rival. That's bad, right? Anyway, nobody cares about that anymore. Just like nobody's going to care about Dinesh D'Souza. But what this all does mean, and I don't know too much about James Lindsay. I did think when he did it the first time, it was very funny. I know he's been on Rogan a couple times, and that should have been good enough to give him a cabinet position in Trump's administration. Duck. You should have laughed at that.
Sorry,
I said he has been a guest on Rogan, which should have been good enough to give him a cabinet position in Trump's administration. Yeah, because that's basically what the cabinet is. Is all Trump guests. But he got kind of popular on the internet because he did something called the Grievance Studies Affair back when the woke mind virus was running rampant, and it was very funny. They submitted a bunch of papers to academic journals, and they submitted them to, critical race theory. Remember, doesn't it seem like from another era when even you bring it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been over for a while. Yeah, because of guys like him, and I give him credit, like who just made so much fun of it that, you know, nothing can stand in the face of sarcastic ridicule, you know, if it's really true. If it being a grift is true, then satire takes it down. So he got things published in these journals, which were jokes, right? He made, and that these people published thinking they were serious, one of which was an argument for men to self-penetrate themselves with dildos to reduce transphobia. And this was published. He wanted men to attend restaurants like Hooters, research on rape culture among the dogs at Portland dog parks, amongst many other funny things. So it was him and Peter Boghossian and Helen Pluckrose, and he's a mathematician. So they did this, and they wrote and published articles as part of this year-long hoax campaign targeting fields like gender studies. And it was very funny, and it was very embarrassing for the woke left, the progressive left. But the reason I bring him up is because what I think, and this is why I like him very much right now, is he's been going after the woke right. So he's sort of a man after my heart, because what I see is the rise of extremism. You know, we've always talked about how there's 4 parties, and the middle is kind of been silenced by these loud fringe extremists on both sides. And so now he did the same thing recently to the right, to the Christian right, where he tricked a Christian right-wing publication into posting excerpts from the Communist Manifesto. So it's very funny. It lets you know that extremism is a disease. Utopians are maniacs. One of my favorite movies is State of Grace with Sean Penn, one of the best mafia movies, most underrated mafia movies of all time. He's got a great line in there, and he says, I thought I could come in, I thought I could arrest this guy and keep Jack out of it. He goes, but it was just an idea. It had nothing to do with reality. Like you believe in a state of grace and angels. It's just an idea. That's the difference between extremists and people who live on the planet, who are, you know, basically moderate, and they either lean left or lean right. And those are the people that hold everything together, is that those people live on the planet, and they know that ideas need to be impregnated into reality. And when they are impregnated into reality, a bunch of gray zones are born. And so that's why extremists always meet at Hate the Jews, because you can get a bunch of right-wing Christian extremists to unwittingly publish the Communist Manifesto. You can get a bunch of left-wing extremists, you know, faith-based extremists. They're both faith-based extremists, to publish a bunch of satirical gobbledygook about putting a dildo in your ass so you can understand trans people better. That's what happens. That's the problem with faith-based reasoning. Faith needs to be something personal. You need to have, you can't put it on anyone else. So that's why I bring him up, because that's what we see. Guys, we are brought to you by Hims. Hims is changing erectile dysfunction healthcare, making it easy, straight to your door. Is your schedule busy? You don't have time to go to a doctor's office to get your ED pills? Well, guess what? Through Hims, you can get a personalized erectile dysfunction treatment without stepping foot outside your door. If there was one thing you want to not step outside your door for, it's this. I don't want anyone knowing I'm having a problem catching wood. You ever feel like you need a little boost in the bedroom? Yeah, it's time for you to stop worrying about your performance. Get Hims. Hims provides access to a range of doctor-trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis, and their generics for up to 95% 50% cheaper. The process is 100% online, which is great. So there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site. Simple. And a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you in discreet packaging for free. Nobody knows what it is except you putting it in your mouth and your penis. It's between you and your penis, which is great. Which, with hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Yannis. That's hims.com/Yannis for your personalized ED treatment options. hims.com/Yannis. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. And we're seeing that in South Korea now because this guy was like a very pro-America, pro-Japan, even though Japan and Korea have a sort of a sordid history. He was a very America-friendly president in a lot of ways, but he's just not doing that great of a job. I think their currency is called the won, W-O-N, the won, and it's the lowest it's ever been compared to the dollar in value. I don't know how much that has to do with what's going on now, probably a lot, but he's just got a 17% approval rating. And so this kid was paranoid that he was going to get impeached. So that's what I'm taking from the story is he just preemptively created martial law to try to take control of everything. And it backfired. It doesn't look like it's working. There's too much protest against him. He's too unpopular. The kid doesn't want to be impeached. I don't know what happens to people who get impeached. Maybe they get life in prison. Maybe they get killed. I don't know what happens over there. I'm not paying attention to anything besides Samsung. That's all I know. I'm paying more attention to North Korea than I am South because I thought things were fine. And the negativity bias makes your brain pay attention to the bad. So I'm paying attention to fat Kim Jong-un. I got no idea about Kim Yoon-chun Kun. I got no idea about him and his wife. I don't know. I pay attention to the bad like the media does, like we all do because of the negativity bias in the brain, right? So I don't know. Maybe he's scared to get impeached because like in Vietnam, they will put you to death. They will put you to death in communist Vietnam, which I know now has done a little bit of that sort of hybrid economy, right? And opened up their factories to Nike. And their economy's done a lot better. So they've allowed some business to flourish, right? Can we look that up? Just go to ChatGPT to make your life easier. I don't know what the economy is currently in Vietnam, but there is a woman there. And again, you're not going to hear this story unless you listen here. I tell you what's going on in the world that's important. I bring it down to the soil. This is a very big story. She's a woman, first off. She's a woman, which lets you know that Eve did eat the apple. They do have smaller brains, and they are demonic. Okay? You always think men can be evil, and all these feminists are like, what would the world be if there was no men? Well, what about this bitch? What about her? This bitch right here. What did she do? She fucking basically stole 6% of the GDP of Vietnam from people. And she's been sentenced to death for a white-collar crime, which I think it's always crazy that the white-collar criminals in America get such slaps on the wrist. But if you like steal a candy bar, you do like hard time. You know? You know what I mean. Not a candy bar. But you know, you rob a gas station, smoke some weed, you rob a gas station, you get hard time. Although that's violent and it's bad. But these white-collar criminals do so much damage. I mean, the monetary value of their damage is so much higher. Like this bitch. So she's fighting for her life. And she's got to pay back 3/4 of the money. And she don't have it because she stole it. Because she was running a goddamn fraud Ponzi scheme with her family, her niece, her husband, who's a Hong Kong businessman. And she's got to pay back 75% of what she took. And if she does, her sentence will be commuted to life. They don't fuck around over there. She's admitted it. She's embarrassed by it. She got caught. So what they found was that although she was a minority shareholder or something, so I'm sure they're got some capitalist, they have a mixed economy over there on some level. We will look that up afterwards so we're accurate with you. But she secretly controlled, like although she was a minority shareholder, don't hold me to that, but something like that, she secretly controlled Saigon Commercial Bank, which is the country's 5th largest lender. And she was taking out loans and cash over more than 10 years through a well of shell companies that she secretly owned through relatives, friends, whatever, accounting for a total of, get this. Is this like, compared to Bernie Madoff, is this bigger? 44 billion? I would think it is.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, and we're so ethnocentric. All we care about is Bernie, but this is a huge story. $44 billion. I appeal to people whose mind goes beyond the coasts of California and New York, across the oceans to other lands. Give this bitch some fucking credit, dog. She broke the gender barrier.
Ooh, no.
Oh, no. Okay. Close, though.
Not bad.
Close. Well, this is the funny thing about billions. It's close, but not close. If it was $20, what was hers? 44?
44, yeah.
Hers was 44 billion. If it was $44 and $65, you'd say close. 65 billion and 44 or 45 billion. There's a billion in between each one of those 20 difference. So, but for a woman, you got to put the gender in there with the smaller brain. That's equal. That's equal. I would say they're equally as big. Plus, he stole that in America where people got a lot more money. She stole this from Vietnam. Sam Bankman-Fried only did a fucking measly 8 billion, and he's going to be more. This bitch deserves the credit. I am giving her the due that she deserves. This 69-year-old Vietnam, love you long time. Love you long time. I love you long time. Pop that pussy, baby. She stole 45 billion from people. 44 billion, which is 44 billion in whatever her currency is, I guess, right? Or no, is that $44 billion?
This looks like euros.
5 billion euros. So the euro and the dollar, it's a little more the dollar, right?
I think the euro's a little higher.
Is the euro a little higher? All right.
Have to look it up.
She stole a bunch of fucking billies. She's more than Sam Bankman-Fried. She deserves a lot. Who cares?
That is billion. That's billion. That's dollars.
Oh, it's dollars.
Yeah.
So she stole, okay, so she did steal 44 billion. Give her her credit. Give her her credit. If she's not Jordan, she's LeBron. If she's not LeBron, she's Kobe. Has anyone else stolen? I mean, I'm sure. Who's stolen the most? Let's put her on a fucking timetable. I mean, on a GOAT list. She should be on a GOAT list. As a woman, 9 of the biggest fraud cases in recent history. Okay, Bernie Madoff is at the top. So you know she's somewhere in there if he's at the top with 65. She's somewhere in there. They haven't even updated the list yet. Who's the second?
Health South.
How much did they steal?
Company, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Only 1.4. That's nothing.
Okay, dog. Yeah, it's chump change. Chump change. Munich, Germany, chump change. Chump change. This is a big story.
Oh, look at it. Ivan Boesky.
How much did he get?
How much did he get here? You also have to do it when it was done.
Oh.
Because of inflation.
He got 200 million. Chump change.
But
Chump
in
change.
85, it's not bad.
Yeah, but chump change. We're talking $45 billion.
Oh, Enron. Enron was huge.
Enron. How much did they get? How much did Enron get? Yeah, I mean, you could, look, he's above Ian Boesky. It's going to be like 900 million, a billion, something like that. Nothing's going to top. She may go number 2.
She might be number 2.
She might be number 2. She might be number 2. Look at that. 11.2 billion. Still, FTX.
FTX. There you go.
Yeah, nothing. This chick did it by herself. Like Bernie. She had help, but I mean, it was really her who was the ringleader. Unbelievable. She deserves people to know her name. Her name is Trong Mai Nhang. Trong Mai Lan. Give her credit. She needs to return $9 billion, 3/4 of the $12 billion she embezzled. So give her credit. There she is. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Okay, here we go. She started as a market stall vendor selling cosmetics with her mother. Give her credit. She always had an eye for crime. Some people are just born with it. Some people just love. They just can't help themselves. They're wired that way, right? Psyches are very complicated things. She didn't learn to love this. She always loved it. She could have stopped. And that's what you said. That's why you know it's love for the game. When you get to this level, Bernie level, it's love for the game. Because if you did it for the money, you'd go, all right, I'm going to stop at $4 billion and I'm going to embezzle. I'm going to fucking launder and get out and go, just like boom. And then I'm out. But it's the love of the game. Once you start, you're like, this is too fun. What more can I get away with? They also own like tons of real estate. They own like luxury properties. They own a shopping mall. She was the chairwoman of this private, prominent real estate firm there. So the Communist Party Secretary General in Vietnam has started cracking down on corruption with businessmen in a movement that's been called Blazing Furnaces, where he's been going after, and there's 85 defendants along with her. 4 were sentenced to jail, while her husband got like 7 years, and her niece got like 20 or whatever, 20 years. They've been, whatever. They're going after her because she was the brains behind the operation. So she's got to come up with money. She's asking relatives for loans. And I bet you all those people are just going, sorry, why am I going to give you a loan? You're going to jail. She's actually asking friends and families for loans to help get this back to save her life. And they're going like, what? When I was helping you steal, there was something in it for me. Now you want me to just give money to give back to the state for you to save your life? I mean, I don't know. There's no honor amongst thieves. How do you say that in Vietnamese?
Ooh, nice rhyme.
Yeah, that did rhyme. They're not going to give it to her. They're not going to be able to come up with $9 billion. No. You can't just make a phone call and come up with $9 billion.
It's lights out.
It's lights out. The state has identified more than 1,000 different assets linked to the fraud. These have been frozen. The BBC understands the tycoon has also reached out to friends, like I said, to raise loans for her to help reach her target to save her life. It's not going to happen, but, she'll die with honor. One thing about the Eastern Hemis is they go with honor. She knows she disgraced her nation. And she will go with honor with her head high, like Saddam Hussein. Will she be killed? She'll be shot to death by firing squad in a rice paddy. Or they'll just let her walk out onto the fields where there's still landmines from the Vietnam War. And just let her take her chances, Hunger Games style, for entertainment, for the entertainment of the Vietnamese people. So can we find out about their economy just so we can edify our viewers on what the economy is and edify me on what the economy is? We do know that there's factories there. We do know that Nike and a lot of companies are making shoes there. We do know that it has helped their economy quite a bit by opening it up, just like Russia did, just like China does. So we just want to know to the level of what the mixed economy is. What is it? No. Present economy of...
It's a dynamic and growing mixed market economy.
Yeah.
For its rapid transformation. That mic's not working, but it's right here.
Oh, okay. So, your mic's broke?
Yeah, I got to tweak it. Something's wrong with it.
Yeah, so it is. We're right, as we knew. We're always right here. It's a rapidly growing economy. It's a mixed economy, driven by industrialization, trade, and a growing middle class. I wonder how that happened. Socialists don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that. Manufacturing, of course, a lot of American companies has become a global manufacturing hub. They're making stuff there, electronics, textiles, garments, and footwear, your Nikes. Companies like Samsung, Intel, and Nike, like I said, have significant operations in Vietnam. Tourism, finance, everything when they opened up blossomed. It's becoming a tech for a hub for IT services, exports, electronics, smartphones, garments, seafood. They trade with the United States, China, Japan, South Korea, and the European Union. All the G7s, baby. When did they open up? It was the renovation policy in 1986, where they transitioned from a centrally planned economy to a socialist-oriented market economy. So they're fucking basically Sweden, right? I mean, can't you just admit it? You're basically Sweden. King Z, he's this fucking communist at heart, and so is Putin. They're these fucking old school guys. Just admit you're Sweden. Just admit you're not a fucking communist. Why do they still keep the communist name? That's like meeting a fucking Muslim who eats pork and who wants to talk to me about his piety. You're officially sinning. Or a Jew who fucks Goyim. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's essentially what these commies are. Mm-hmm. They're fucking Swedish capitalists. Am I wrong at all? Isn't it funny that he still fancies himself a communist, King Z? And they still have the fucking CCP party, but they have like Jack Ma over there? I mean, granted, they gave him a talking to, and they have full control over everything, but that isn't really communist in economic theory. That's authoritarian. I mean, it's communist in the sense that they probably trim the top. They give every company a nice, handsome haircut. But that's socialist, right? And then the methods are sort of authoritarian. But you can't be a communist country if you're not completely the people own the modes of production and there's no private companies and profit and all that bullshit, right?
The end goal for communism is that the state dissolves.
Withers away, not that the state is the strongest thing.
Right.
Right. So just go away, communists. Are there any still pure communists left? These people, it's all lip service bullshit. I mean, Vietnam is not a communist state. All those people died for nothing. And our boys died for something, defending freedom and democracy and our right to consume and litter the third world with toxic waste chemicals. That's another problem of capitalism. Capitalism does not prepare for end of life, for products, for electronics, for clothes. The problem with capitalism is everyone passes the buck of responsibility and nobody plans for sustainability. It's all about production and consumption and short-term bottom lines. So they're both extreme, but obviously capitalism is the more functioning of the two and works hand in hand with freedom and democracy better. You know, you're free to create a company. It's more free. You're free to hire, free to... But capitalism does have to do a better job of integrating environmentalism, socialism, all these things that temper it, because our waste problem is bad. I mean, dude, when you throw something away, all the plastic, all the sneakers, all the clothes now are created to just last like 3 wash cycles because they want you to keep buying. The iPhones, they make it so you can't change the battery out. You know, they know what they're doing. It's all for short-term profits, but like this shit has to get thrown out in fucking Angola or wherever. And then it ends up in the water, and then it ends up in the salmon, and then you eat the salmon, and we all die of cancer just so you can get an extra $15.
It's called planned obsolescence.
Planned obsolescence, right? Yeah, where it's just planned to destruct.
Yeah, they have a
every
time.
printer just stops working after a year. And you're just like, and then you go and you get like, it's got to be the ink cartridges. You go get the ink cartridges. That shit was set to self-destruct. Yeah, look at that. They're still calling themselves communists in China, but it's a mix of state-owned enterprises and a large private sector. But it's now under much more strict. So they're the most communist. Probably Vietnam's not even as communist as they are anymore. North Korea is purely communist.
That's just authoritarian.
Do they have any private shit there?
It's all government.
Yeah, so that's purely communist. But yeah, the state's supposed to wither away.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen. But I think you could say they're probably the most communist in the world, right? Let's ask our good friend ChatGPT. Is North Korea the most communist state in the world? It's an opinion. It's a little bit of an opinion. Yes, one of the most rigidly authoritarian state-controlled society. It describes itself as a socialist state. It's economic and political system associated with communist states. There's blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So it probably is. Cuba retains a centralized economy, but has introduced limited reforms and is less militaristic. But North Korea retains structural features of a communist state. Unique blend of ideology, dynastic rule, and militarization sets itself apart from classical or other contemporary communist systems. It could be argued that it is the most purely state-controlled society in existence, but diverges from some core communist ideals. They all do.
The best thing I heard on communism, great idea, wrong species. It's a good idea on paper.
Right.
It's just the wrong species.
Wrong species for that. Right. It would be a great idea for ants
ants,
or
bees.
Bees.
Anything that works in the hive mind like that. Man.
Right. Great idea, wrong species.
I forgot who said it, but it perfectly sums up communism.
Yeah, but your mic doesn't work. So I got to. Now it works now?
Yeah, I tweaked it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, the WPK is the Workers' Party of Korea, and it's the only party. So that's what it is. So Biden pardoned his son. South Korea hopefully is back to normal by the time you hear this. And we're getting ready for a reality show that will be starting as soon as our buddy Donald Trump takes office. It's either going to be fine or a disaster. That's what I think. It's either going to be fine or a disaster. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be amazing, like a lot of MAGA people think. I don't think it's going to be amazing because he's too wild. He's already fucking with China, right?
Well, how would you rate the first 4 years?
First years were fine. It was a continuation of fineness.
Of Trump's first term.
Yeah, but here's the thing most people don't know. Trump's numbers of deportations, let's be honest, most people are about the border and the economy, right? They don't give a shit about the Ukraine. They just they talk. They don't even understand how those loans work, right? A lot of those loans are just fucking come out of thin air. They get paid back. And basically we're giving that money to basically fucking own Ukraine. The same way China does with all the ports it builds. If things work out in Ukraine, they're our bitch, which is great in a lot of people's eyes, powerful people's eyes. But that shit's not coming out of our pocket necessarily, is it?
Yeah.
Where do
you think it's coming from?
Okay, I'm wrong. Okay, then I'm
Who's
wrong.
paying for it?
I thought it was these loan types things. Does the money to Ukraine come from taxpayer dollars? We're going to get a verdict on this right now. And I'm going to have to apologize like Dinesh D'Souza. Okay. It's funded by taxpayer dollars. I would like to apologize. Okay. Yeah. It's what it is. It's what it is. Income taxes, corporate taxes, payroll taxes, and other sources. That's not good. Some aid is structured as loans or drawdowns from existing stockpiles with provisions. Okay. So, yeah, that's not great. I don't want to pay for all that shit.
No, you don't.
I don't want to fucking pay for that shit.
50% of your salary.
Fuck that. Let's go Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Trump. Let's go Trump. Yeah, it is. So, yeah, that's fucking bad. Or like, I don't know, but it's bad out of my pocket. I want it to come out of somebody else's pocket.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, come out of his fucking pocket.
He should pay for it.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe it'll be great. But what I was about to say is a lot of people don't know this. Some people do. But Trump's deportations, they're so like you're talking about so much lower than Obama's.
Oh, he was the
top
dog, Obama, right?
Dude, it's so much. I looked at the number. Obama deportations compared to Trump numbers. It was so much higher, dude. That's why they called him the deporter in chief. And I just the Trump. I think the rich people really liked it. He didn't build a wall. Oh my God, significantly more, dude. Obama deported 5.3 million people. His first term saw 3.2 million deportations. Whoa, his second term, 2.1. That's what got him the nickname the deporter in chief. Trump deported around 2 million. So he deported over 3 million more illegals. So the border, it was a continuation of being tough on the border, and the economy continued to be pretty good, and it's what it is. So I view his first one as fine. Like, yeah, I mean, there was nothing wrong. Everything was pretty chill. The economy was good. Rich people made a lot more money. Things happened. He did some good stuff, but I suspect that his trade war with China might have unleashed the China virus.
Whoa, duck.
So I hope he knows how to just be a little diplomatic and treat them like the power that they are, and don't fuck too hard with their money. That's all I'm saying. You want to cuck out a little bit with the Chinese. We can't dominate the Chinese. We have to share the world with the Chinese. This whole American arrogance that they're not that they're a paper tiger is just not true. We need to work with them. We need to trade with them. We got to figure it out. We can't just tariff them to death. You don't want to fucking put their backs up against the wall. You want to keep appeasing this Taiwan situation by, talking nice, but also bolstering Taiwan, or just make all the chips here and give them fucking Taiwan, or make a deal. And maybe the only person that can make a deal is fucking Orange Man Good. Who knows? I don't know. And this is all opinion. Maybe it'll be great. I don't think it'll be great, because what fucking president was great? The ones that seemed to be great were the ones that turned it around. Lincoln, FDR, right? Although he's under attack now, right? Social Security is a big Ponzi scheme, people are saying. Maybe it is. I don't know enough about it. There's an argument to be made, I guess. But the country was in trouble, and he definitely fucking saved it, right? Maybe long term it was no good, and Social Security and all those things are bad. But at the time, he got everything functioning again. That's why he was so popular. You got to say, a lot of people people don't say this enough. Whatever you think about Obama and what he did for your pocket, or what he did for the gays, or he let trans people run wild, or that he was just black and you hated that, whatever it is, you got to say the economy was fucked. The biggest fucked since 2009.
Oh, during the Bush years?
Yes.
Oh, the worst.
And foreign policy was a disaster.
By far the worst.
And he came in and turned it around in 8 years and handed it off, and it was in a lot better shape. So that's how you really measure a lot of the presidents. There was fucking this Lincoln, Civil War, and then
people love Reagan.
He came in, because big Cold War. He came and turned it around. He got the wall down. Perestroika, he forced that. With Russia, he ended the Cold War, man. So guys who do big things like that, are considered great. Like this podcast is underappreciated because I am changing the culture from bad to good. All right, guys, catch me this weekend in Milwaukee. Then catch me next weekend, December 13th and 14th in Bridgefield, Wisconsin. Sorry, start over. Okay, guys, catch me in Milwaukee, December 6th and 7th. Catch me in Bridgeport, Connecticut, December 13th and 14th. Catch me in Austin, Texas, December 20th through the 22nd. How about that? Then Rochester in January, DC, Tempe, Arizona, Chicago, Philadelphia, Springfield, Missouri, San Diego, Cleveland, Ohio, Yannis Pappas, comedy.com for tickets, patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our bonus episodes, and check out the History Hyenas as well. We're back. Guys, want to give a shout out, of course, as always, to forthefree.art. If you're interested in Hawaii, you're interested in music, go look at the bands in Hawaii, check out their music, check out live performances, forthefree.art. Also, proudly shot out, natelinder.com. Digital marketing at its finest. He will help your business rank #1 on Google, profit from digital advertising. He's recently partnered with PCB Tech Art, and he's done some work for the Yannis Pappas Hour. Thank you, Nate. natelinder.com for more. DisplayPros.net, custom trade booths, retail fixtures, promotional items. Tell them I sent you, you get 10% off your first order. Really great company. Rebels-Raiders.com, where are we, man? Where are we? Okay, go get your shirts, your goat shirts. Proceeds will go to support an animal or goat rescue. Backpacks and plate carriers are currently still in development and are expected to be available by late December. But pre-orders right now, in early December. Go put your pre-order in right now. Buy some shirts in the meantime to show the whole world that you understand nuance and the practical application of firearms, which I agree with. Rebels-Raiders.com, cool site. PCB Tech Art. You know what they got also? They got a slim phone charge adapter for GMC Sierras and Chevy Silverado. So get that. You could also get your ball markers, custom ball markers. You can get, if you're the next great inventor, they will help with 3D printing for your prototypes. Hit them up, PCBTechArt.com. Yannis 10 for 10% off.